Hello my dear students, good morning. As we have seen in the last video, terrestrial plants, plants in mountains, plants in forest, plants on plain, plant in coastal areas, examples and their adaptations. Okay, today the last part of the lesson number 2, that is insectivorous plant we will be discussing, non-green plant and parasitic plants. Okay, these last three types of plants only remain, which we are going to study under the heading of terrestrial plants, plants which grow on land. Yes, okay, the lesson is into two parts. We have divided plant which live in water, grow in water, that are called aquatic plants, and now we are discussing plants which grow and live on land are called terrestrial plants. Okay, so in that we have already seen in the previous video plant on desert, plant in forest, plant on plain areas, plant in marshy areas, plant in coastal areas. Now today we will be discussing insectivorous plants. Okay, something which is different. Okay, the name itself insectivorous plants. We will see today insectivorous plant, parasitic plants and non-green plant. Okay, so let us move on. Let us start with insectivorous plants. Okay. See, what is meant by insectivorous? Okay. If we break the word insectivorous, there are two words. First, insectivorous. We all know herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous. So, vorous is something which is eater. Insectivorous means an insect eater. See, some plants are also carnivorous. Okay, generally plants are herbivorous, but some plants which are carnivorous in nature, which used to eat insect for their survival, they are called insectivorous. Okay. Try to understand the meaning of insectivorous. The plant which feed on insect. The plant which feed on insect are called insectivorous. So why these plants are feeding on insect? Why they are insect eaters? Let us understand. Okay. First of all, let me tell you some of the habitat of the plant or soil which is poor in nutrition. Okay. Some habitat of the plants, the soil which is present on the land is very poor in nutrition. So obviously, as they are poor in nutrition, they are unable to process the of photosynthesis obviously, and some of the plants are very thick in the forest. Due to that, they are not receiving the sunlight which is required for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, first of all, the quality of soil is poor in nutrition, and second reason may be as the plant are so close in the forest, so they may not receive the enough sunlight, as sunlight is very much important and very much necessary for the process of photosynthesis. So these plants are unable to make their own food by the process of photosynthesis, so they needs to depend on insect. That's why they are feeding on the insect. Such plants are called insectivorous plant. Okay, there are two reasons. One more time I repeat. There are two reasons. I want to repeat. There are two reasons in which plants needs to depend on the insect. Generally, these plants are, they depend on their own food. They are making their food by the process of photosynthesis, under the presence of air, water and warmth, air, water and light. But here there are two conditions. First of all, the soil is poor. The soil is poor in nutrition. And second, the trees are so close to each other, they are very tall in the jungle, as they are not receiving the enough light which required for the process of photosynthesis. So they are helpless. They are not making their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So they are depend on insect. They are eating insect. They are feed on insect. Such plants are called insectivorous plant. Such plants are called insectivorous plant. For example, Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. And pitcher plant. See, Venus flytrap and pitcher plant, these plants are depend on insect. So how do they catch their insect? What are the adaptations? As we are discussing the adaptations of the plant, so we must need to understand these things as well. Okay, so Venus flytrap. See, I would like to tell you about Venus flytrap has two lobes which have hair-like structure on both the lobes or edges of the lobes. Venus flytrap have two lobes which have hair-like structure on the edges of the lobes, and these lobes snap shut. These lobes snap shut when any insect is sitting on them. Okay, it has two lobes with hair-like structure on the edges of the lobes, and these lobes snap shut. They will be shut down when any insect is sitting on them, and in this way they trapped. The insect will get trapped into the plants and they used to eat it. This is the adaptations of the Venus flytrap. Let us talk about the pitcher plant. Pitcher plant is having a pitcher-like structure. You know pitcher-like structure? It is nothing but what we can say. The pitcher plant is shaped like a pitcher, obviously, and it's secreting the slippery substance on the edge of the pitcher. On the edge of the pitcher or slippery substance, due to which, see, Venus flytrap is having two lobes. Each of the lobes having the hair-like structures, and when any insect is sitting on them, they snap shut, or they used to shut down their mouth, we can say, and ultimately the insect got trapped and it will be eaten by the plants. Here, while discussing the pitcher plant, it has a pitcher-like structure and it produces or it secrete a slippery substance. By this slippery substance, the insect may slip and fall into pitcher, and obviously it will be trapped, and the pitcher plant used to eat the particular insect. So these are the adaptations of these insectivorous plants, Venus flytrap and pitcher plants. Okay, I hope you are getting it. Okay, next, moving on. This is the insectivorous plant which we have seen. Now moving on, non-green plant. Okay, the name non-green plant itself indicates the meaning. The plant is non-green. See, I must tell you one thing here. As I am always telling these things to you people, might be in your previous classes, why the plants leaves look green? Why the plants are green? Due to the substance chlorophyll present in it. Okay, plants are green due to the presence of chlorophyll, a substance called chlorophyll present in it. So if there is a non-green plant, it means obviously there is an absence of chlorophyll is here. That is sure. That is sure. So what tells you? The green pigment chlorophyll is absent here. So these plants are not carrying out photosynthesis, obviously, because chlorophyll absorbs the sunlight, and if there is no chlorophyll, there is no sunlight, and if there is no sunlight, photosynthesis process may not occur, or it will not occur, obviously. So these plants, non-green plants, are helpless. They are not making their own food due to the absence of chlorophyll and due to the not occurring the process of photosynthesis. So these plants are helpless, and these plants are also called as non-green plants. Okay, so these plants are depend on their food on dead plants and animals. These plants are depend on the food on dead plants and animals, because they are helpless. They are in the absence of chlorophyll, so photosynthesis process will not occur. So these plants are called non-green plants, and these plants are depend on dead plants and animals. Okay, example is Indian pipe. Example is Indian pipe. Indian pipe is a plant which is non-green and depend on dead plants and animals for their survival, food. Okay. Now last but not the least, that is parasitic plant. Let us discuss parasitic plant. See the word parasitic. When one plant is depend upon other plant for food is called parasitic plant. When the one plant is depend on other plant for food is called parasitic plants. See, they are partially depend on other plant for their nutrition. You can say these are parasitic plants. See, these plants grow on other plants. Parasitic plants grow on other plants and absorb nutrients from them. Generally, the parasite, let me tell you first the example is Cusquita. Cusquita is the example of such plants, okay? And second example of this plant is Mistletoe, okay? Second is mistletoe. Mistletoe and Cusquita are the example of parasitic plants. Okay, so these plants grow on other plants and they are completely depend on other plants for their nutrition as well. Okay, such plants are called parasitic plants, and such plants are harmful for other plants as they depend on other plants, so they are harmful for other plants. Such plants grow on other plant for nutrition and they are very harmful to other plants as they absorb the nutrition and the food they require from other plants. Examples are Cusquita and Mistletoe. Cusquita and Mistletoe, these are the two plants which are called parasitic plants. Here our lesson is over, our lesson is finished. Okay, in the next video we will start a new lesson, that is lesson number 3. Okay, meanwhile I will send all this exercise part. Instead of taking on the video part, I will send all these question answers which are brief objectives you can do by yourself. We'll just check it out once in the video session. Or I will try to send all the question answers including objectives also to you all on the WhatsApp group in PDF format. Okay, so till then stay in touch with studies, stay tuned. Thank you.